Hey guys, welcome back to the Unfiltered. So today we're going to be talking about the Idaho 4 case again and this footage that has come from True Crime Reactions with Jules. Now, Jules has been on this case since it first broke and she's done a lot of work and she's obtained this new footage. So today we're going to talk a little bit about the footage, and I just want to say that I'm not suggesting that the crime happened at this time. This is something I want you to have a listen to, and you can make your own conclusions. But to me, it's very disturbing. It constantly feels like we have been misled about the timeline. And I've always felt that this is something that they have changed constantly throughout the story. So we have to wonder what is really going on. And today I have a guest. His name is Skull Mackay. His channel is called Idaho Scandals. So we met on Outcast channel and we have talked quite a lot. Both of us were of the opinion that Brian was guilty in the beginning, but we have questioned things a lot. So we've also questioned the way in which this investigation was handled. So it's more of a casual conversation today, our very first chat together on camera, and I do think that we will be bringing you a lot more in the coming weeks. But you're going to find Skull Mackay very relatable, and that's why I have him here. So welcome to the channel, Skull Mackay. I really appreciate having you here today.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It's the first channel I go on actually, so I'm excited. It's great. I'm excited.
Very much. And yeah, so, we met through Outcast, and I mean, Outcast has been doing quite a lot for
Yes.
the community, for those of us that have been questioning this Idaho 4 case. And that is where I met you. In fact, you were one of the first people that were really supporting my videos on the Idaho 4 case. So thank you for that.
Yeah. I remember he played your video. I ran to your channel and I made sure to comment. I'm like, hey, shout outs from the Outcast community. I'm like, your video is really great. The audience is enjoying you. And we're looking forward to seeing what other work you have. And that's pretty much where it all branched off. Yeah.
Yeah, I was actually surprised. I didn't even know that Outcast had played my video until Tash told me Outcast is playing your video. And well, he does a lot of good work. I mean, he does a lot of live chats, and I like the way he structures his videos. The people that support him as well, which is great. We were saying just before the recording that he had quite a lot of views on today's video. I think as this new footage is coming out, people hopefully are starting to open their eyes as to what is really going on with this case.
Yeah, and Outcast, he's very good at what he does. He just has to freaking mastered the craft. I mean, he comes from a professional background. He used to run lots of websites. Uh, he used to be involved with music, so he knows what he's doing. It's a fun learning experience on my part because I never saw myself in the many years creating content on YouTube, and ever since he started his community, I mean, when he started his the podcast, I want to say we were only like 17 of us that were in there.
Wow.
So it was a pretty intimate in the beginning, and then as time went by, when I was like, you know what, I like his cause. I'm like, he's bringing a community together, and I'm like, why not? So I messaged him. I was like, hey, bro, I believe in your message. I feel like you're doing something great right here. You're bringing a lot of us together, people that I never thought I would ever get to encounter. And I'm like, can I help you with promo? So he ended up initially kind of being a little hesitant because TikTok, it's a little controversial. People were like, oh, it's addictive and I don't know what. But I'm like, they're failing to understand. I'm like, I'm not seeing it from the consumer end of things. I'm looking at it as a content creator. So sure enough, I convinced him and he allowed me to help him with promo. And then ever since, his channel has been growing. And he's put in a lot of hard work. I mean, with the audio, um, he shed a lot of light, and then a lot of channels appreciate his work. And then he just decided, he's busy all day. with his family. But at the end of the day, he's catching up on the videos. So he's like, why not stream online and then enjoy it with an audience? Yeah.
And he's so I remember the first video that I was on his channel, and he's also always very welcoming, allowing people to come up to the panel, share their opinions, and I find him very open-minded to
Yes.
letting everybody say what they feel. He never ever shoots anybody down, so I really appreciated that. And I was actually quite shocked that he has been so supportive of my channel and everybody in the chat as well. So I've got to know some really nice people as I go on the lives.
Yeah, I feel like it's a group coming together. We're seeking truth and justice. And yeah, he's very patient. He's very open minded. We got people coming from all sorts of backgrounds. You got people that are into, you know, looking into the footage, camera footage. Everybody has their own, you know, I guess role that they're playing in this. And then we're getting people that are trying to understand the audio. We have people that do very good research that look into these people's background, looking into the court documents. So there's all sorts of talents. You got people that are part of the legal. You got professionals that come on his panel that want to discuss this case. So he's bringing all sorts of attracting all sorts of big of audience.
Yeah, some great people that have come out of Outcast channel. So, I mean, for you and I, we started actually chatting about this because we started out on the other side. So this is not just a normal place for us. We kind of started, both of us, as we chatted, coming from the side of Brian Koberger is guilty, to starting to really question what is going
Going
on.
on.
So, yeah, that was kind of how we got our conversations going, because I think when we started chatting about 2-3 months ago, I'm not sure,
Time
and
flies.
time does fly. And the more you look at this case, the more nothing seems to make sense about any of it at all.
Yeah. And in the beginning, I would follow mainstream media. At the time, I was barely getting into the YouTube community. I started watching the Amber Heard case with Johnny Depp, and then once I found out about this case, based on what they were telling us, that his cell phone pinged there, that he came back to the scene around 9:30 in the morning, and to me, I was like, cell phone data, you can't hide the truth, right? And then they said there was a sheath with his DNA, but they were very, very controversial because they were making it seem like it was legit DNA. We had no idea about the alternate four perk theory, other blood that they found. There was other blood samples on that freaking sheath, but yet they only tested the snap. So
Wow.
I was
Yeah.
convinced early on the way they portrayed him, but then once they started talking about like his the way his phone was pinging. It's just like the misinformation they were talking about the cell towers, how he was pinging there or how they placed them there. It was very inconsistent. And then when they started saying the timeline of how he did it and how long it took him, like 7 minutes.
Mhm.
7 minutes is
So
not.
we are going to talk about the cell data next week, because you've
Yes,
done with, I believe it's Lucy. You've done
Lucy Morningstar.
you've done some extensive research. So we're going to get into the cell data next week, um, because I think that's quite a complex subject. But what was the first thing that you felt um, really raised red flags? I think for me, I I struggled once I started researching. It was intended to be just a once off video. I was going to wait, as we've been talking, I said to you that I was going to wait until the trial happened. And then when the guilty plea came in, I was still convinced, okay, he's guilty, but I thought, okay, maybe he had an accomplice. Because the thing
Right.
that always stood out to me was there is no way that one person can go in and do this
But I mean, we tend to believe whatever we get told. We just sometimes don't think about it if we're not that invested in it. And then when you really sit down, I mean, I sat here and I was, no, no, no. And even with somebody helping him, okay, it seemed a little bit plausible that maybe you could commit this crime. But the more information that's coming out, the more I think we've both been convinced that, well, from our side, that he was not even at that house.
Exactly, exactly. So when news came out about his alibi, at the time I was not really following the court hearings and stuff. But thanks to Lucy, there's a very good video that she posted in regards to the cell tower records. And I'm very, very tech savvy. I love technology. I used to experiment with coding, Google, testing their devices. So I got familiar with how cell towers work and how you triangulate devices and how our data is stored, you know, and how I guess the feds have access to our privacy. And once they started saying, it took 7 minutes, I'm like, that's impossible. But I believed it. I believed it because they were trying to sell us this pretty package that they were asleep. So
I think that's the crucial part is, and we spoke about this just before recording, that even yesterday there was a video out. I'm not going to name the channel's name, but they're still going with the story that these students were asleep. And I guess if the students were asleep, that would make sense. But I think when I was doing my research initially, I gathered for myself that given that Dylan was awake and she heard this, I mean, because everything that Dylan has said was put into the probable cause affidavit to arrest Brian Koberger. Now,
right,
the fact that she was awake and she heard everything tells us that the other roommates and what she describes, hearing Kaylee with Murphy, the DoorDash delivery, Sana being awake, all of those things told me, okay, they're not sleeping at all.
yeah, and then it made no sense, right? Dylan is like, oh, somehow she knew. She's like, oh, I don't know how I know, but I knew she was dancing with the dog upstairs. So where were you, right? And then she mentions hearing crying in either one of the rooms or the restroom. So then I started questioning myself. Could it be that this was a reoccurring thing? Because I think Katie, or who was it that was going through a breakup? She was the one who was
I
like,
think it was Kaylee.
and
Kaylee.
then she was what, co-parenting? Let's call it co-parenting with the dog. They were sharing the dog. So, and they had just separated. So I got myself questioning, thinking, okay, not only is it a party house, I'm like, Dylan made it seem like, you know what, she doesn't want to get involved, and perhaps assume that it was a boyfriend that was fighting. But then once we finally got to see the one of the first interviews, she's talking about a guy dressed all in black at 1:44 in the morning. That kind of contradicts the whole narrative that he was there at 4 a.m., pretty much at 4 a.m. So then, not once did she mention checking in with Kelly, hey, what's going on? Or not once did she mention Murphy. I don't know if they have let us know that they were looking for the dog. So I'm like, okay, if you guys were looking for the dog, at what point did you guys give up looking for the dog? Because when we see the body cam footage, when the first cops arrive, and then you see them outside huddling like on the road, Dylan's like, I don't know how you guys found Murphy. It's a miracle the cops found Murphy because Murphy's been gone all night. What? But then even Ann Taylor brought this up. Ann Taylor brought it up. She's like, they're claiming that all the doors were open when they arrived to the scene, and they found Murphy on the bed in one of the rooms. How did that dog not go check on its owner? A
And
and
mind you, that dog never had one spot of blood at
right,
all. Nothing. How does that happen?
right, and then okay, so that's when they're walking away with the dog. a whole scandal even happened with that. They went to drop it off at I don't know, some kind of shelter, and then the dog goes missing. The dog goes missing, and then the lady that was there in charge of the poor dog calls, I think 911. The dispatcher's like, "Oh, well, none of our officers went there. Let me check in with whatever other police department that was involved." They get back to her and they're like, "Oh, it looks like it's gonna have to take time for them to look into it, but no one has gone for the dog." She's like, "Okay, so do we look for the dog? What am I supposed to do?" Because she's like, not only is the dog missing, the paperwork for the dog was taken away, right? So that raised a lot of red flags. Because I feel like that dog has a lot of the answers that could probably figure out what went down. But the fact that they were so sketchy when it came to the dog raises a lot of red flags. And then based on what Dylan said, I'm like, it's a little difficult because Dylan, so in the beginning, remember, they were saying that these murders happened before 3 a.m. Nothing at 4 a.m. They kept changing it. It went from what I recall, 1:40 a.m. Then it went from 2:30 a.m. And then they switched it to when Molly was there delivering the DoorDash because allegedly she ran into Brian Koberger. But when she gives her account of events, she doesn't describe Brian Koberger. She's describing a guy with red hair, saying that he looked like he was not wanting to even greet her, that's what gave her eerie vibes, and she couldn't find the address to the house. And I'm thinking, what person that orders DoorDash or Uber doesn't go meet the delivery person outside, right? And so the inconsistencies, and then so this video footage that we're about to see, it kind of gives me goosebumps because the original narrative was these crimes started happening around 2 a.m., 2:20 a.m. And then you got
Yeah,
Ethan's.
this footage is pretty scary because you're quite right when you say this timeline has always shifted since the very beginning. Of course, mainstream media is not going to tell their viewers that. And another thing they're not going to tell their viewers is that Ethan's mother, Stacy Chapin, always refers to 2 a.m.
2 a.m.
as a dark hour. And you have to wonder why she keeps saying that. But before we get into the footage, I mean, there was so many things, and I guess we're going to discuss it as we go into this collaboration together with each other because there's so much to discuss. And
Yes.
I really hope that we can open people's eyes, at least to say, you don't have to agree with us, but you should question everything because, in my opinion, this case, I mean, I'm all the way across the world from you, and
Yeah.
I'm so freaked out by this case that, I mean, you and I have spent hours and hours and hours talking about the injustice around this case and how scary it is. I mean, people dismiss it as if it's nothing, but this could be anybody. Anybody. I always say to people, if you are living in America right now, and I'm not dissing Americans at
Of
all,
course not.
you should be scared right now as to what they can do with the information they have on you, your freedom of speech, your right to question an investigation. We're still going over the documents, you and I, and sharing information and bouncing ideas off each other. But when you read through these documents, I mean, I've never seen, I did work at the court, so I know what documentation looks like in this regard. I've never in my entire life seen such a heavily redacted document, especially after somebody is already put in prison. It's not normal. Why all the redactions? And now what Jules has done is, in my opinion, fantastic.
She's
But
funny.
no nonsense, no bullshit.
No bullshit, no nonsense. Don't try her.
Cut out everything. And she's actually gone and she's got this footage. So, this is a big trigger warning. If you don't want to hear what's going on in the footage, guys, skip ahead and we'll discuss more things. But you've listened to it. And so, yes, I think let's listen to this footage.
Does that to you sound like it's a party?
Not at all. No, that is very disturbing. If there was a party, you would be seeing people coming and going out of that house, right?
Yeah, you will hear a group of people. You will hear more commotion. Where's the music at? I don't hear
Cars coming
music.
and going. I
Right?
mean, you would
What
hear
happened?
cars coming and going.
It's like what happened to the noise complaints? Well, how come there was no complaints this night? And then I don't hear music at all.
Nothing.
Oh my god! Stop! You hear
Wow.
stop, right? Oh, I got goosebumps.
Mm-hmm.
That voice,
Yeah.
though. That voice, though. I wonder if Outcast is gonna do a comparison with the 911 call because doesn't that voice almost sound familiar to the crying you hear? Almost like to the 911 call. It's as if it's Dylan or someone. Can't tell though.
It it's very difficult to tell. To me, it sounds like there is a female voice.
Right?
Just one.
One.
Just one.
Like, cause she's trying to explain something. Sounds like she's crying, and then I hear male voices, but they sound so muffled. Like,
definitely say get out.
Not certain. Oh, it's almost ending. Look, let's see. Let me start over. Yeah, even Outcast was upset. He's like, this audio is so debauchered. Like, even when he's stripping it, it's so difficult to make out what they're saying. But you're hearing a commotion, and look, it's 2:32 in the morning. And this way before they said that he was circling around the neighborhood, supposedly.
Well, he wasn't. Yeah, he definitely wasn't in the neighborhood. So, this debunks the whole timeline that they've put out.
Yeah,
Because at that time of the morning, Brian would not have been in that area. Not at all.
so I don't know. It's because I'm able to make up very, very vaguely, but it's like I'm hearing, oh, it's because I don't know. Or she's like, if she's explaining something and it's like she's referring to someone, like if she's referring to a guy, but I don't know who she's referring to. And then you just hear stop, 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 like multiple times. Moving his. I heard, oh please, oh God, and then something about moving something. It's so hard to. Follow her, follow her. Did you hear that? He's like, follow her, follow her.
Yeah, go back a bit. Let's go back.
Get out.
Oh, God.
They're being attacked. That's Murphy definitely reacting. I heard some money. Let me go back. Let's compare it to Jules' video.
Yeah. I think you might see that you hear some things in Jules' video.
Isn't it strange that you hear the same sound when they're claiming Brian Kohlberger was passing, like around 3:30, 3 a.m.? Same turn, the way the lights look, and I feel like it's as if they blew the light up more to like
Mm.
clip it into when they said he was there. That car, the way it sounds, it's too similar. Right? Remember? But here you could
There's
tell it's
the car.
same sound.
That right there, you could hear. If you go back 1 second on the video, just a second back on that video, you can hear it. Hear that? Okay.
Oh my god. I heard, please get off her or get off me. Like, please, please, something.
That does not sound like a party to me.
Not right
People
now.
that is an agonizing scream that
Sorry.
we just heard there. That is an agonizing scream.
Sorry.
That
Yeah.
we heard.
Well, that overwhelmed me because the last time I heard a screaming like that was it's like when a mother loses her child. That type of agony. Well,
Mm.
um, that is not a party. You don't hear music. You don't hear people having conversations. What's going on? We'll go back a little bit.
No, no coming and going of anybody, just that one car. And, I think the strangest thing I find in all of this is that we hear Dylan saying she was asleep. Now, there is no way that that would be going on, whether it's in the house, right above you, even if your door's locked, that you cannot say you hear that. But that is agony.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then it doesn't make sense to me. What happened to the noise complaints this night? They seem to be like on it on the previous, videos, body cams that we seen when it seemed like they were harassing these kids. So how come this night
Oh, they were
was
there
any?
all the time. I mean, the noise complaints about the house go back a few months prior to this happening. In fact, from the very moment they moved into that house. So why is nobody being called out for a noise complaint during all of this?
Yeah, and if you pay attention, those police are very hostile. Before they even arrive to the house, freaking, they swear they're giving each other a pep talk, but they're so freaking aggressive. Like, especially even addressing them, like, don't fucking bullshit us. You think I'm stupid? It's like, damn, come down, officer.
Very, very. But I mean, why are they not being called out for this?
And
This
why
is
did
a
it take so
scream.
long? It took so long. Oh, maybe because of the process. I mean, we're just barely getting this now. And look how much time has passed by.
We have heard some people saying that these screams are just a party happening, but I don't believe that because there was a party down the road, I believe at the White's apartment, and that is where all these kids went, if I'm correct.
Yeah, that's something I kind of recall.
There was another party they went to. So this, in my mind, is not the sound of people having fun.
Nope.
I have heard in the beginning that these kids, I don't know if you remember that they were bound.
Yes.
And I could be wrong, this is just my opinion. It definitely sounds like that because you don't see any of them running out of the house for
Nope.
help.
No. And mind you, where's the footage of them looking for Murphy? Didn't say that Murphy chased a suspect all dressed in black at 1:44 a.m. Then that's not that long ago. It's probably 2:26 in this video,
Mm-hmm.
and it's freaking surveillance everywhere. You literally have like a 360 view of the house, and then right here from the point of view of this camera, the house will be right behind our backs to the to like if we're facing okay, so if they were like the audience is facing us, it would be to the right of the screen, right behind
Mm-hmm.
us. So something's not adding up. I wonder at what point do we hear them yelling Murphy? I'm gonna have to find out what video they were watching the other night on the podcast that you kind of hear them looking for Murphy, but then check this out. Jules was watching another video and what
Okay.
looks like Jack, I think one of the Jack or one pulls up right here, goes towards let me see the mouse right here. And it looks like he gets the dog and leaves with the dog in his car. That's an episode that she covered just recently, and it was a shock factor because completely contradicts him saying that he wasn't there. And yeah, let me continue playing it. Let's see.
Oh, wow. Jeez.
I think these kids did not get killed at the same time. I think these kids were made to watch each other get tortured. That no scream to me sounds like, and it sounds like they're enjoying themselves.
Yeah,
It just
I
doesn't
mean
make sense.
that ties in with them. You know, if you're saying what you believe, I tend to agree with that, and that ties in with him being bound. That is the only
Yes.
way that.
Didn't they say finally in the docs that they were gagged? So how is he going to do this in 7 minutes and still have time to sit down in one of the chairs? How they claimed carved Ethan's legs? No, something's not adding up.
Oh, let's talk about the carving of Ethan's legs. Now, the only way that you're going to carve somebody's legs is not when they're fast asleep. It's going to be to stop them from moving or getting
From moving,
away.
right?
So that also alerted me to the fact that Ethan was not asleep when this happened.
Also, what's crazy is early on, remember they said that when they were trying to get into the house to go check on them. I don't know if it was during the 911 call. Uh, didn't they say Ethan's back was barricaded them in the room? That they had to like push the door or something to try to go check on them.
That was one of the stories. I
But
don't believe that that's true.
but then here we find out that they all were found laying down on their beds. Santa was in the hallway. Ethan was laying to his back, supposedly, or something like that. And then the Kaylee and what? Who's the other victim? Um, Maddie.
Maddie and Kaylee were found upstairs.
Where is it, Ethan? Where'd it go?
Yeah. Okay. So shout out to Karmic Retribution. She's on TikTok. If you guys
Oh,
would like to
yes.
follow her, she's
Great. Go
making very
follow
good
her.
videos, going over this case as well, and has very good insight. So this is the only clip I could think of as of now because we were able to hear a little segment that we would like you guys to hear. And
Oh, Ethan.
okay, sorry, I accidentally skipped it because I don't fuck with Ethan. Call Dylan. $227. Get up.
Yeah.
Proceed to hear.
You did hear that. You did hear that.
horrific-
You
Get
did
out.
hear that. You heard
Get the
get
fuck
out.
out.
Get the fuck out. Where the fuck is it, dog? Where the fuck did it go?
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. So what are they asking? Where did what go?
Exactly, right? Has to be drugs involved. What else are they looking for? Has to be.
Where is it, Ethan? Where'd it go, Ethan?
Call Dylan.
Proceed to hear his horrific scream. Now I'm gonna get a little graphic. Let's take it to his carvings in his legs. Why do I feel at that moment what we are hearing is Ethan being ripped open through his calves? I don't know.
So we're hearing call Dylan.
Yeah, I heard him say that. Call Dylan. Very clearly.
Has to be Ethan then. It's close to the dark hour. That scream. Are they making Santa watch? Unless they're carving into him. She's screaming.
Well, there's a lot of been talk about that where they either spoke about making Santa watch or making Ethan watch.
Because the agonizing scream, do you think Yeah, it makes sense. If he got carved and he's made to watch, he can't get up. He's immobile. You're hearing the girl scream, agonizing scream, and
Mm-hmm.
then being questioned, where the fuck did it go? So if they're saying call Dylan, that means Dylan was not there at this hour. Where was Dylan?
Correct. Yes.
Where the fuck
So
was Dylan?
call Dylan because that's what I hear as well. It's not saying ask Dylan, it's saying call
Call
Dylan.
Dylan. And then followed by
Now,
get out. So,
why would you call Dylan if she's in the house?
and what are the odds of her being the surviving roommate?
With an attack as vicious as what we're hearing here, I don't believe for a second that somebody would leave a witness behind that could identify them in any way.
Too eerie. Makes no sense. The only plausible reason I went, when I used to give her benefit of the doubt and they were claiming she was drunk, well, would make sense to me if I was the suspect and I'm running out of time and I need to get the fuck out of there after committing all those acts. Run into Dylan.
Mm-hmm.
If it's apparent to me she's freaking blacked out, drunk, how they want to claim, that's the only plausible reason where I can see the suspect being like, you know what, I'm not gonna waste my time. This chick is so obviously fucked up. She's not gonna identify shit. But we're hearing all this other audio. We're hearing all this other audio, and it's like they can't.
The other point
Totally.
about that is if Dylan was that drunk, she wouldn't have heard what she thought would be Kaylee moving around, somebody saying, I'm here to help you. Kaylee saying, there's somebody here in the house.
And she supposedly was so scared she locked her door.
Yeah.
It's not adding up. She's just making herself, digging herself in a deeper hole.
I want to give her the benefits of the doubt. I really do. But saying that she came face to face with whoever was attacking the students means that she wasn't really passed out drunk.
Yeah. And then also she was like, oh, I don't know why he let me live. I question to this day, did he know me? Why he could easily killed me? Why did I have to survive? Very self-telling, very self-reporting.
Something she said very telling was in the beginning stages of the investigation, she said that if they ever catch whoever did this, that she would ask them, why did he spare her life? Like, why them, why not her? Yet at sentencing, she never ever asked him that.
Right. And she couldn't even look at him.
Ask him?
Not once did I see her look towards him. Maybe glimpsed, but we're going to hear Dylan right now.
Oh, I was awake because I was calling, texting people. I remember texting.
That's your evidence that you were up. And you were moving around.
Yeah, and I, like...
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I think
you heard that? That's good evidence that backs you up. It proves that you were moving around. What does that have to do with anything?
And the voice, I don't think that you could. You could create that in your mind. Those are things we hear, that something brought you out of your sleep.
Yeah.
You didn't sleep through this whole thing, and at 11 o'clock.
No, I mean,
at 11, what? Oh, morning. She didn't sleep through this whole thing till 11 in the morning, and based on things. So how are they going to be able to hear recollections of events if she was the only witness there, and Bethany was in her room, and it wasn't until she was telling Bethany, "Oh, I'm freaking screwed right now," or scared, and then she runs to her room and they lock themselves up, right? So who are they hearing this information from, right?
That is what doesn't make sense to me at all. Anybody who's been in that kind of situation, we've heard from Dylan that she doesn't know whether she was dreaming, whether anything was real or not. And again, this is what the media has been saying about Dylan for a very long time. But if you've been in that kind of situation where somebody's in your house, it's something you sense. You can be so drunk. You can be high as a kite. You can you can be any of those things. When a dangerous situation like this happens, you're going to sober up like that,
Yes.
right? Even if you're in a deep sleep. So any of us, I mean, you can ask people that live here in South Africa, we often have a lot of crime. When they broke into our house, I was terrified just when I smelled them, okay? And this was in the middle of the night, and crawled on my hands and knees. It was dark, and I was phoning the reaction, the ambulance, my dad, my brother, anybody, pressing the panic buttons. I was on the phone to my mom. I was freaked out. That is real freaking out, because you don't know, where is this person? Are they still in the house? Have they left? How many of them are there? And so that's why I call bullshit on Dylan, because as somebody who has been in that kind of situation, without sounding condescending, I know that when you are frightened, and I mean, I was half asleep when I smelled them that time. So this was very long ago, but I will never forget that. And you don't sound as condescending when you're talking to an officer. You almost begging, please help me, please help me, please help me. Don't leave me alone. Don't, that is what normally happens. And I know people are going to say that everybody reacts differently in a situation like that.
Mm-hmm.
But when you scared shitless, you scared shitless.
Yeah. I've been held at gunpoint where minutes, seconds count for what next decision you're going to make. I was some crazy guy. I was in the bus. I was in middle school, by the way. I was like, I want to say I was 13 years old. So I didn't have my glasses, of course, and I was in the bus of public transportation. So this guy starts talking smack or whatever. And then I don't know what was going on in his head. Sure enough, like, he was trying to snatch something out of his bag. Everybody's like, it's a gun, it's a gun, it's a gun. People were trying not to freak out. So in that very moment, yeah, I froze up. My adrenaline was rushing. But I was like, you know what? I need to get up and run to the bus driver and let him know. I just ran. I told him, I'm like, hey, look, this guy, I don't know what he has in his hand. Apparently looks like a gun. He's getting aggressive towards me. So you know what the bus driver did? He like stopped the bus like mid before we crossed the traffic light, opened the door, let us out, and shut him in, and they left. To me, there's no way how because look, like we're right here, like you're familiar with your family, especially if you live with people. Just by me being in my room, just hearing footsteps, I can tell you whose footsteps they are. I already remember people's. Everybody, like I recognize the sounds that goes on in my house. So how is she not gonna notice something's off?
And the thing that's most puzzling, what you mentioned as well, is she had to run down to Bethany's room.
Mm-hmm.
Now, she would have seen Zana, and she said that she did say she saw her and that she was lying on the floor. So nobody's accusing Dylan of being a part of this crime, but let's say she didn't know anything.
So she ran to her roommates being scared. She ran to the roommates being scared because she heard some commotion. She sees her roommate passed out. And she's still going to have the audacity to say that, oh, I thought she was passed out drunk, and usually people like laying on the floor for comfort. What? But yet you were so scared. So how come Bethany's not coming out to freaking check things out?
But here's the question. Skomakai, why did she not run to Ethan? Because remember, in her mind, Ethan is safely asleep in his room. So if you're so scared, the logical conclusion would be to go and run to Ethan. He's the biggest guy in the house. Go run to him. Why would you run to Bethany?
And they were claiming that they were calling all of the roommates. Okay, you were calling all the roommates, but then in the morning, I don't even know if Ethan made it home last night. They were only responding to 2 passed out roommates. But yet, when they went to check upstairs, that's when they found Ethan, Santa, or whatever. How is Santa going to be home and Ethan's not home? To me, that's distancing. She's distancing.
No, because, I mean, remember, Ethan didn't live at that house, but she did mention, Dylan mentioned many times that she felt safe with Ethan in that house. And so to me, why wouldn't she run and get help from Ethan?
And then also, she says that she opened her door 3 times. And she still saw the guy. And she still didn't call. And she still assumed it was a prank.
Oh, no. A prank. We as humans, we have something built into us. We know when something is a prank and when something is real. Because that's real. You wouldn't mistake that as a prank. Just my opinion.
Something's not adding up. Something's not adding up. I want to understand. So at what point did you lock yourself in the room after you claimed the dog ran out the back sliding door chasing some random guy? Right? And that's right before the 2 a.m. mark. But pretty much at 4 a.m. Is that what she claimed she saw him? She saw an eyebrow. She didn't say bushy eyebrow. She saw an eyebrow.
She said one eyebrow.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was not even her initial statement. She never mentioned anything about bushy eyebrows until late December, wasn't it?
I think so.
Mm.
Yeah.
Or anybody watching, you can comment and, just give us your input. Remember, we're still investigating a lot of things being new into this, but, it is a huge red flag when somebody doesn't mention a detail like that at first and then later says, oh, well, okay, he had bushy eyebrows. Brian Koberger's eyebrows don't look that bushy to me.
He has a prominent brow.
Mm.
And then look at how they made him look during the plea deal when he pled guilty. Not only does he look like they're malnourished, all of a sudden his eyebrows are shaved. Right?
So when you identify somebody, something that came across my mind was not only his prominent brow, but if you look, he's got a very unique structure to his nose. So if he had the balaclava on, one of the things you would notice is this high bridge on his nose. To me, because it would come round about here, right? And it's just strange that that's a detail she never ever mentioned, was seeing that very high bridged nose. I mean, she couldn't identify him.
And then in the text messages, she's asking what was one of the girls wearing. She was dressed all in black.
Santa.
That was her justification not to go check, assuming that it was a prank. Have the charger for your phone.
Mm. Was that I believe that was in the text messages where she said her phone's going to die.
Right. And if her phone was dying, she was on social media. She was taking pictures. She added a new contact. They were on
the Indeed app.
They were on TikTok. But yet she was sleeping. Mm-mm.
I can tell I was awake because I was calling, texting people. I remember.
I can tell I was awake because I was calling and texting people. What does that even mean, girl? To me, she sounds like she's so assuring them. She's certain. That to me does not sound like a drunk person that's like, oh, I kind of was blackout drunk. I remember kind of texting someone, but it's a blur. And mind you, when I used to drink, I would have to close one eye because my eyes would freaking have double vision. And I couldn't see what I was texting. Nothing to me sounds like they were drunk at all.
No. So that's basically the point, is how did they not hear this? How did they not hear this?
And the house is not that big. And the thing is, mind you, she said she heard everything. She heard everything. So at what point did she change her narrative? Because she said her words from the very start, she heard everything. So I wonder at what point did her narrative change?
Now, something else that was also strange to me, like, when you're hearing all of this with the noise complaints and all of that going on, is any of the neighbors around that house. The question is, that footage came out where they were questioning the neighbors, and none of them heard a thing. Nobody heard anything.
And a lot of them saying that they were claiming that they were either coming home from work, just work, or going to bed. How come we don't see surveillance of those cars or anyone leaving for the most part, right?
Nobody. No one at all.
And who's asleep on the weekend? That's a college student. That early.
And there was a game that Saturday, wasn't there?
I believe so.
There was a game.
I believe so because they said they did a deep cleaning for the parents. And who was it that said she thought they were going to find any DNA? Why are you? Where did you? What? How is that crossing your mind? Your parents just got slaughtered, but you're going over the floorboard plan of where the rooms are, and you're giving every possible way that they could have broken into the house. That to me sounds like something that was planned. How do you know how to break into your own house? Like,
who was that gave that plan?
I think that was Dylan. She was talking about he could have jumped through the freaking balcony, or he could have escaped through this. She's like, I don't understand why he went through the sliding door, and it's like she was certain. She's like, he must have known the layout because my room, as soon as he passed, blah 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 blah. So that was her justification of saying maybe he would have known me because she's like, I was the first one when you walk in where her room's at.
But that tendency to also over-explain everything is very, very telling to me. Like, why over-explain? Often when people are pathological liars, they over-explain themselves a lot.
Or they offer too much insight. She's offering too much insight. Too much insight. How's that helpful? That's not your job. That is not your job. Your job is to try to make sense of what happened. Not once do I hear regret or remorse or fuck, why didn't I call 911? If it wasn't for my friend, if it was, you know what I mean? It's like, not once do I hear regret of her being intoxicated. Not once do I hear her, fuck, maybe I should have not drank that night. I didn't handle this the best way I could.
Never.
None of that. Ever. And then they were beating around the bush for the longest. Okay, so instead of saying she was drunk, she was asleep. Were they trying to minimize what her state of mind was? Maybe they knew right on from the beginning that if the public found out that she was freaking drunk, and after all the commotion that she claims happened throughout the night, she still didn't call 911. So there's a lot that they were withholding from us in the beginning, and I feel like they knew there was going to be backlash for these roommates. Yeah.
And back to what you were saying just now, it just crossed my mind. I think it was Dylan that actually mentioned to them not only the layout of the house, but also the fact that they wouldn't find DNA because they had just done a deep clean a while back.
Right. So what does that have to do with the night of events? What does that have to do with anything? Right?
Yeah, that was a very odd detail to mention. Just, we cleaned everything. We sterilized this house a while back. Did a deep clean. And that isn't normally what college students do. They don't deep clean their houses. I don't know.
Right?
Maybe they do.
But look at all that beer that was there. How come we don't hear no mention of a party that was going on there? How come we don't hear those people that were at the party, all of them being interviewed? We're just getting a few people that, the ones that we're suspecting are the ones that are being released to try to clear the names. That's what I find very odd, And then we have the tip lines, of course. Are we going to be able to get access to those? Because Ann Taylor said that based on the tip lines, they got a lot of people calling in for alternate suspects that fit the profile. And then also there's when she was trying to get the discovery for the cell records and all that, they were just freaking egging her on. Um, when we covered next week that video of Lucy's, there's a lot of things that opened my eyes up that started clicking and making sense. And once they started going over and the freaking games they were playing.
Have a look at this clip.
2 a.m. is a dark hour, I can tell you that.
2 a.m., right?
2 a.m. And Stacey has always said that 2 a.m. is the dark hour. And now with this footage, I think we getting to see why she keeps sticking to that story.
How would she know, though?
That is a very good question. I mean, look, Stacey is quite involved now with Othram. So
Right? Isn't that weird? That's very strange. What was Othram doing? Offering them what? Some kind of, I don't know. It just makes no sense, honestly.
It's very strange to me, and I'm not trying to shame her. I mean, she lost her child, but all along she always said that she doesn't want to be part of this investigation. She didn't even want to attend the trial. But, I mean, she was CrimeCon. She is very involved with Othram, and she stuck pretty much to the story that 2 a.m. is the dark hour, and now we're seeing it on this footage. One night in Idaho.
What was the other clip you told me? Let me see.
According to Dateline NBC, one of Brian's sisters grew uneasy before the arrest. She'd heard about the car, heard about the suspect's build, and started to feel a cold, creeping dread. She looked at her brother, looked at his car, and somewhere deep inside, a part of her must have known. Please, God, no. The family reportedly checked Brian's Elantra. They didn't find anything then, but weeks later, police and FBI agents were swarming their house. I mean, imagine that for a second. In the middle of winter in Pennsylvania, the air sharp enough to sting your lungs, you wake to pounding on the door, and within minutes your entire family is surrounded, flashlights, helicopters, neighbors staring from behind curtains, and your youngest brother handcuffed in the driveway. That's the day the name Kohberger changed forever.
When was this uploaded?
So I have quite a lot to say about Tony Bruschi and his continuation of talking about this case. I mean, if you are of the opinion that he's guilty and he's in jail, why do they keep talking about him? Now, this is just a sample of one of the videos he's done. I mean, if you go and look on his channel, he talks about Kohberger constantly. But look, I don't want to be disrespectful towards him, but I actually do, because he keeps talking about him. And normally when somebody's guilty, that would be it, case closed. You're not going to discuss him anymore. But what are your thoughts on him saying that Kohberger's family checked his car and they knew?
Clickbait. It's clickbait.
It's also media brainwashing.
Mm-hmm. It's giving me Nancy Grace vibes. He was skulking.
Stalking.
The skulking inside the house. Oh, God, ridiculous.
That's my favorite one. He was viling himself in the shower.
Oh, my God. Do you want to see a clip real quick that I made of her when I turned her into a baby?
Please.
Yes.
Oh, there you go.
I'm a crime victim. And a lot of what happened at my fiance's murder trial is really...
They're doing what they do, right? Somebody leaked.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about cell phone porn, about raping.
I think I just am not allowing my...
I did one on Ashley Banfield. The way she refers to the prank Kohbergers. Like, it's ridiculous. Make it sound like it's freaking some kind of disease or whatever.
I think a lot of these people are just It's very strange. Banfield started out questioning the case, and of course, well, we know what they've been paid to push a certain narrative towards the public.
Earth, his lawyers are going to go from here. Where could they possibly go? But like, what was the burner phone story? Well, I just want to be really clear. I am not a drug dealer or a criminal, but I have a burner phone because I've actually been calling Brian Koberger in jail, trying to get him to, consider returning a call.
Why would she need a burner phone? She's a dummy. Why would you need a burner phone to call prison? What a dumb goose. She's a dumb goose.
Oh, Ashley, please.
And he has so far, but Alex, you'll be the first to know if Brian Koberger calls me back. You and Brian Enton. And the family of the defendant. Talk to me about the Kobergers finally coming out west and attending one of these hearings. And, clapping for the gallery and saying, Mom, I love you, like out loud. And here were these poor, long-suffering Koberger parents who'd come out to support their son, and he ghosted them effectively.
Thank you, Skalmaka. You have been very entertaining, and I always love all your short videos, especially these ones with Nancy Banfield. They're basically forcing us to mock them because these people are unable to do any critical thinking.
Mm-hmm. I'm like, damn. Money is the root of all evils. For these people to be
follow the money. Follow the money.
Yeah.
But it's been wonderful having you on the channel, and we'll continue chatting. And if you guys like the video, then please go follow Skalmaka. I'm going to link him in the video, and we'll probably see you guys next week again.
Sounds good. Bye.
Bye.